Welcome to episode 46. And today I am going to just give you guys a brief update about how I'm getting on ahead of Ironman Lanzarote. Today's the 14th of April. We are 33 days out from what will be the biggest event of my life. I hadn't actually planned on doing this Ironman at all. Back in 2022, whenever I decided that I would sign up and do Ironman Cork to celebrate my 50th, I kind of imagined that would be it. It would be one and done, as they say. However, standing on the promenade, watching the sea smashing against the rocks, it was something that a clubmate, Jared Meehan, had said to me. He said, Mick, I tell you what, I know one thing for sure. I'm going to have to do another one because this here is going to be a short swim. So thanks, Jared. That has bugged me for a long time. That wee statement that he came out with, been bouncing about in the inside of my brain for a long time. And I guess there's an element of truth in it. You know, whenever we sign up, we train, we want to do a full distance triathlon. One thing that we assume and possibly take for granted is that we're going to actually get the opportunity to complete each of the three disciplines. In hindsight, I think it was the right choice by everybody concerned in relation to cutting that particular swim short. I'm not going to go into the detail, but we all know that it was a very, very dangerous and hazardous swim. So I'm not going to lament about that. But it did leave a wee bit of a niggle, shall we say. But moving on, I decided that I needed to do another Ironman, essentially. And it was now down to where do I go, since Ironman Ireland obviously hasn't happened since 2023. And it remains to be seen whether or not it'll actually return to Ireland. Let's hope it does. Let's hope everybody and all parties concerned get themselves together and talk it out and get the event back up and running somewhere. It was a podcast that I had completed very early on with Connor and Netta. So I'm gonna give Connor another bit of credit for this decision of mine to sign up for Ironman Lanzarote, because it was him that said if you can do the Lanzarote Ironman, you can do any of them. And I guess that's probably true for a lot of other events too. I would classify Wales, for example, as another one of those epic Ironman courses with a lot of demanding geography to navigate. So it was a combination of Jared Meehan saying that we need to do one because this isn't actually a full Ironman. And I know a lot of people probably have been thinking that, and I've heard a few people whispering it, but nobody has had the balls to say it to my face, which is probably for the best. But hey, we'll put it to rest hopefully now on the 17th of May. So we are, as I say, 33 days out. So far so good, I have to say. Training is and has been going fairly well, fairly consistent. I was looking back over the Strava training log since the beginning of the year, and have been quite good at kind of sticking to 5 and 6 days per week. There was a couple of weeks where I was under the weather with a cold. Still managed to get 4 days or 3 days over those 2 weeks. So soldiered on, as it were. A few of the Sunday cycles were cancelled as well over the last couple of months, January, February time, due to basically the temperature, frost, snow, driving rain, wind, the usual kind of winter elements that we're obviously faced with in Ireland. But you know, that it's just all part and parcel of the journey. You know, I've always addressed my training as something as often of a plan, and a plan, in my opinion, is just a plan. You know, it's aspirational. I suppose it would be absolutely fantastic if you were able to hit everything on your plan as per the plan. But life gets in the way. Things happen, shit happens, family things happen, you get sick, the weather doesn't play ball, uh, all sorts of things happen and get in the way. Curveballs come in from all angles. So it was really always just about trying my best to remain as consistent as possible, try my best to hit each of the elements, each of the disciplines each week. And I have actually been doing that fairly well. If I think about breaking it down into the 3 different disciplines, and I think about swimming, this year the swimming for me has been largely a solo effort. I have always trained with Oma Triathlon Club in the swimming pool, but for this last year I haven't. 2 main reasons why. I suppose, firstly, is I don't particularly enjoy being in the pool when there's loads and loads and loads of people in the pool. As much as I find the swimming class and the coached sessions through the club absolutely amazing, I have to reiterate that I haven't a bad word to say about them. They're absolutely fantastic. And anybody that's joined the club and has got into the pool somewhat apprehensive, every single last one of them have improved phenomenally in a very, very short period of time. So I'm not and will not have a bad word said about the triathlon club or the pool sessions. But I guess it's just not for me. I just dislike having to share a lane with maybe 6 or 7 people and thrashing up and down the pool. That quite confined space. The occasional banging of wrists as you're crossing someone in the lane. So that was one reason. The other reason is that one of my kids has a jiu-jitsu class in the leisure centre on a Monday, and it's on from 6 to 7:30. So just logistically, I was never going to get home from collecting him at 7:30 and then get back into the town for 8 o'clock. It would have been just too hectic, and it would have left me just under pressure and stressed out. So what I have been doing is that while Shane has been in jiu-jitsu from 6 to 7, I have gone into the swimming pool just by myself, and I've just used that hour to do my lengths, to focus on my technique, more often than not with a pull buoy, and kind of just relaxing in it and slowly just clicking up the lengths really. And that's been working quite well. Recently then I have moved to the loch. It's quite cold, it has to be said. Not quite as cold as I thought it would be, but I got into it there last week, and I've done a big swim there at the weekend. 2.4 kilometer swim or thereabouts. Not too bad. Really enjoyed it. Had the place to myself. It was a lovely morning, and I really, really relish those opportunities to swim in the lake, especially whenever you have the place to yourself. There's something magical about it. It's so peaceful and serene. So absolutely love that, and I'm buzzing to get back into the loch. I think I'll probably do the majority of my remaining swims between now and Lanzarote in the loch, in the wetsuit, in the tri-suit, getting used to that, focusing on the buoyancy, the extra buoyancy that comes with the wetsuit, and really just trying to find my stroke and concentrate on the form with the wetsuit and all in situ. I've switched goggles as well. I had been wearing a pair of kind of tinted goggles, and then tried some open water glasses, almost like a miniature sub-aqua thing, like one of those miniature diving masks. It just kept steaming up, so I've now found the goggles that I intend to wear on the day. So I have that piece of kit all ready to go and practicing away with those things. In terms of the bike, well, the bike has been going okay. Again, I have been fairly consistent. I've been getting out as often as I can, as and when the club cycles have been on. I've really been quite consistent since October, to be fair. I was looking back over the last sort of 5 or 6 months, and I can see an incremental rise in the hours of training from October, November, December, rising up to January, rising again in February, rising again in March, and I'm expecting the rest of April to push that next level just up again, or at least on a par with March's totals in terms of hours. Bike wise, again, I am sitting at the minute sort of very, very comfortably with the bike. I've actually connected with the bike, which was quite a weird thing, and it has kind of never happened to me before. But I've got a real sense of a connection with the bike. I feel more in control of it. The more I've been riding it, the more I'm aware of what the bike is capable of. The more I have learned that the bike will go round that corner at this speed if I lean at that angle, type thing. I've had a couple of nasty falls, you see, on bikes, predominantly mountain bikes, it has to be said, but it has left me with a wee bit of a nervousness. So I have overcome that now. I'm very confident on the bike, pushing speeds, and really comfortable now getting down on the aero bars, which I think is going to be very advantageous come Lanzarote with the wind. So I've been doing sort of 60s, 70s, a couple of 80-mile bikes. Days that I haven't been able to get out on the bike, I've substituted those with the gym bike in the leisure centre, or I have gone to the Gorse and Glens on a Tuesday night on the mountain bikes, just grinding out dirty hills. Best of good crack. Absolutely phenomenal training. And more recently now, with the good weather, I'm getting out. Hoping to do a 100-mile cycle now this weekend, and that will leave me confident going into Lanzarote with the extra 12-mile, which hopefully will be downhill, wind assisted. A couple of the guys from the club have just come back recently from a training week out there in Lanzarote, and they've advised me that if you can get past mile 80, Mick, up in the northeast coast, sure, the wind's in your back the rest of the way down. So I'll hope that that's true. I think it will be true, but it's still psychologically, if I get the 100-mile done, I'll be feeling quite confident, quite strong, and happy with how the biking's going at the minute. There's probably nothing easy about cycling 60, 70, 80 miles, but I'm finding that because I have been doing that now sort of fairly consistently, that it's coming easier each week. I'm getting and feeling a wee bit stronger. Sometimes I don't even feel that I'm particularly pushing on the bike, which is good, but I'm noticing, particularly on Strava, I'm picking up small wins along the way. So you'll see wee segments that you've PB'd, or this is your second fastest time over 50k, or whatever that might be. So I'm breathing all those in, I'm taking all those wee wins, I'm giving myself those wee pats on the back, chalking them up and putting them down to, okay, something must be working. My legs must be getting a wee bit stronger. It certainly doesn't feel like it. And I suppose that's probably because whenever you're on your own, it can be a lonely old session, but I'm managing that fairly well. Mentally, I'm feeling quite strong. I don't find myself beating myself up too much when I'm out on the bike. I don't be, giving myself a hard time. I'm trying to look around me. I'm focusing on the landscapes and the scenery, keeping the eyes peeled for potholes, of course. And that probably takes up quite a large proportion of your psyche when you're out cycling, particularly when you're on your own. In terms of nutrition, I have been experimenting. I am happy enough. I've found a soft oat bar with salted caramel. It's the sort of thing I wouldn't normally eat, but I'm finding it's working pretty well. It's very, very easy to digest. It's got loads of sugar in it, pile of calories in it, melts in the mouth. So I'm nailing away at them. I'm taking one of them sort of every 20 mile. I did a big three event training day last weekend. I did a 70-mile bike. Took one of these bars at the beginning, and then took one every 20 mile. Also then in the bottles, I am using a High Five electrolyte energy powder and a scoop of the maltodextrin. I'll thank Barney McCullough for that tip. So those two things are working quite well in two 750ml bottles, alongside then with those oat bars. Still a wee bit sickening, I'd have to say. I wouldn't have a sweet tooth, probably, generally speaking. But what I plan to do then on the day is to get some like croissants, liquor them in peanut butter, some bananas, stuff like that there. Get some real food in as well. Toying with the idea of preparing some jam sandwiches or banana sandwiches or baps or something like that for the personal needs bag halfway point on the cycle. I think that might be a useful thing to do, and hopefully get me to the run. And that's, I suppose that's the main goal, isn't it? Is getting to the run. Run wise, I suppose things are going pretty well. I've been doing like a half marathon every month. I would normally do a half marathon every month anyway in training. I have been doing most of my running at night, and I find that I'm able to kind of push myself to get miles done whenever I want to give up. My body feels like it should be giving up. My legs feel tired. Sometimes the head isn't there, but I'm finding that I'm able to push through that at the minute. And I'm just telling myself, just you need to do another 2 mile here. Dry your eyes, get on with it, sort it out. I'm hoping that kind of training and that attitude and that way of thinking stands me in good stead when it comes to the run on the 17th of May. I'm very aware I'm going to be tired. 112 mile over volcanoes in Lanzarote is going to leave my legs kind of smashed. So I'm hoping that running on tired legs, running on empty, getting used to that feeling of weighted legs, I suppose the best way to describe it. That'll work on the day, and that I'll be able to carry that through. I'm hoping to maybe step up to 16, possibly 18 miles on the run, but I don't envisage myself going any further than that. I'm just very, very cautious and apprehensive, and I have a sense that if I'm going to injure myself, it will be running with the impact. So that's why I'm not pushing the run. I'm going to do this Lanzarote Ironman to complete. I'm not going out there to compete. So I just want to be able to finish it. Strategy wise, the plan would be that I'll go out and jog between aid stations, take my drinks at each aid station, recover, get the heart rate down, and trot on to the next one. It's like the old saying, how do you eat an elephant? Bit by bit. So that's what I'm going to do with the marathon aspect in the Ironman, is break it down into manageable chunks and just keep chipping away. In terms of getting to Lanzarote, everything's booked. It's been booked a long time ago. Very happy to say that my wife and my two youngest boys are going to actually go with me. My wife, Cleona, had originally thought that it would be a good surprise to go out and surprised me out there. But she wanted us all to kind of stay together, so she she came clean. So I'm delighted we've rejigged some things, and we're all going out together. We're all staying together, and we'll all be together on the day. I'm absolutely delighted that young Peter and Shane are going to be there to witness the spectacle that is Ironman. It's an absolutely amazing thing to be able to see as a spectator. Just the atmosphere, the music, the noise, the athletes, the rush into the sea. You know, they're going to be able to see that. That it's going to be a memory that's going to last those lads well into their adult years. I hope that they never forget it. I'm hoping that they'll take something from it. I'm hoping that they'll say, "Oh my God, there's my dad." I would just, the idea that I'm going to be able to be running past, you know, the swim obviously has a Australian exit, so we'll do one lap, we'll come out, we'll run across, and we dive back in, we'll do the second lap. So they'll get an opportunity to see me coming out of the water twice, getting on the bike and away. So the plan is whenever I'm out on the bike, sweating and trying not to get burnt, they'll be chilling out, backflipping, somersaulting and messing about in a swimming pool. So happy days. I'm sure Cleona can pass herself with a cup of coffee and a book on a sun lounger. God love her. So that's kind of the plan. We go out on Thursday, and I'm hoping that we can get into the sea on Friday morning. So I've been speaking to quite a few guys. They've been telling me that there's a lad out there who takes people out every morning and gives them a wee recce off the swim course. So I think that'll be important to make sure that I'm able to get at that. I can't wait to get into the sea, to be perfectly honest. I'm absolutely pumped and buzzing with excitement to get into the water. I love the water. I love the sea. Ever since I've been a young lad, used to do snorkeling, and I would have done a lot of scuba diving around Ireland. And any time that we would have went abroad as a young couple, even on my honeymoon, I would have always went scuba diving. So I'm very comfortable in the sea. I'm looking forward to seeing the marine life, the corals, all that type of stuff. So that's just going to keep me occupied. I'm not going to have to really worry or think too hard about keeping where my head is, because my head's going to be down in the water. So I'm going to have a nice aero position, hopefully, because I'll be too busy looking around me. I'll be looking right down, sussing out all the different species of fish and sea urchins and whatever else I might have the fortune of seeing. So really looking forward to that. The boys will be so excited, I think, whenever they see me coming in from the bike or getting out of the water. I think from a spectator's perspective, those are probably the aspects of triathlon that probably cause or offer the most potential for something to go wrong. And I know my Mrs. God Lover is a bit of a warrior, so I suppose one of us has to be a warrior. But I know they'll be happy to see me get off the bike, and I know my ass will be fucking happy to get off the bike too, let me tell you. So the out and back run will be something nice. It's a long run out and back, so I'll do one out and back, which will have me complete half marathon, and then two shorter out and backs. But I should be passing the family 3 or 4 times during the run, and then hopefully they'll be at the line then to see me cross. So that's kind of the plan. The plan really is to go out there, relax myself, trust myself, know that I have it in me, know that I will be finishing. I'm not going out there to be taken off the course unless I have a mechanical or have the misfortune of an accident. But I'm going out there to soak it up. I don't think I'll be doing another full Ironman after this one. Just with the training, the amount of training that it takes, and the sacrifices that we have to make in order to hit those training days, particularly in the sort of 6 to 8 weeks in the run up to the event, with huge bike run, the big bike miles that have to be done, the long runs that have to be done, even the swims are now, you're talking the guts of 2 hours by the time you go out, get your wetsuit on, get into the water, get acclimatized to the water, get the brain freeze over and done with, get your 3 or 4 kilometer swim. So everything's like a fucking round of golf. Do you know what I mean? So when you're working full time and you've got kids, it's difficult to get it all in. Like, I'm not crying, I'm not whinging, I'm not lamenting or anything like that. I'm getting it done. I'm working around the family, ticking all the boxes and getting it done. But I'm looking forward to not having to get up early in the morning, and I'm looking forward to not having to go for an 80-mile bike afterwards. So quite happy, quite content, and feeling very lucky, I have to say. I'm feeling very lucky. I've had the pleasure recently of running the Omaha Marathon, and I was toying with the idea of going for a PB, and I was debating whether or not I should hold back and just maybe trot around, just again anxious and worried that I might hurt myself. And it actually worked out very well, because my son Connor, he's only 18, had signed up for the Omaha, so I ran around the Omaha with him, and we crossed the line together. So it was an amazing day. So yeah, I really 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 buzzing about that. And my eldest son Michael, he's 22. He's big into his fitness. He's big into weight training, and things like that in football. He's advised me that he's going to do an Ironman someday, but just not yet, because he's got shit to do. So at 22, I had shit to do. Hadn't a fucking clue where I was going or what I was doing with my life, but I had shit to do. So I'll respect that. But I suppose I'm happy and content that I've made a change. I've turned myself around. I have taken responsibility for the man I was, and I've made some big changes, and tried hard and worked hard, and probably continue to do that to make sure that I'm a better husband, a better father, and just generally a better person. I certainly feel that is the case, and I suppose I just have a quiet satisfaction knowing that the boys have seen what has been going on, and they're feeding off it. They are copying me subconsciously. They're copying me. Monkey see, monkey do. So yeah, it's lovely, and that's why I've done this. For my boys, for my wife, and for myself. I think after I do Lanzarote, and touch wood, I get round it okay, unscathed, and I'm spared a savage sunburning, that I will have convinced myself and answered any questions that I may have about myself with regards to, that idea that when we put our minds to something, that we can do it. It's something that's very easy to say. I mean, everybody can say it. We've all said it. You can be anything. You've got the world at your feet. All this sort of stuff. And it's one thing to say it. It's a very different thing to do it. I'm not bumming and blowing. I'm not saying this for, oh, look at me. I'm not saying that at all. And it doesn't have to be Ironman. It can be anything. It can be just drinking more water every day. It can be cutting down on your cigarettes. It can be just losing a wee bit of weight. a couch to 5K, adding in something positive, removing something negative, chipping away. I love that statement, chipping away. The idea that we can just chip away. It feels that you're not putting yourself under pressure, but that there's an end goal that can be achieved by chipping away. And I suppose I've been chipping away at myself since I've turned 40. Coming 52 now, so I'm chipping away. I look like I have actually been chipped away because at the start of the year I was let me think, I was 11 stone 12 at the start of the year, and I'm now exactly 11 stone. I'm 12 pound lighter because of the training. I haven't really changed that much. I've cut back on some sugar, but other than that, the weight's fallen off because of the training, the amount of cardio I'm doing. So I'm also looking forward to maybe trying to put on a wee bit of muscle maybe after this Ironman too, and get myself into some sort of shape. Cardio wise, my VO2 max is superior according to Garmin, whatever the fuck that is. I don't know, but it's well impressive, and I'm well chuffed. Haven't a clue what it means, but hey, I'm gonna take it. My resting heart rate is 2 or 3 beats behind Connor. He's 18. I'm 51. I'll take that. Thank you very much. And I'm always reminding myself that I'm training my heart, and I'm training for life now. I'm banking years moving forward. I'm banking more time with my boys, more time with my wife, and more time with my grandchildren if we're blessed with them. So it's all going good. It's all really, really good. And to think there was a time whenever I hated myself and beat myself up and held myself back and talked myself down. And there's still a wee bit of me that is like that. But the predominant aspect of who I am now is very much a person who believes wholeheartedly that when you put your mind to something, you can do it. And that the only person holding you back from that is yourself. If I can do it, so can you. I'll look forward to sharing the story with how we get on in Lanzarote. Take care.